Good morning, David. It's been a long time. I always read what you have to say on Facebook. One of the things I've found is talking to a lot of people through Messenger naturally is that they don't click like, and they often don't share posts. And the reason for that is that not because they don't like the content or they don't want to know about the content or they're not interested in the content. They are, however, because their codes of conduct in the workplace and their friends and family are sick of them banging on about politics and political Islam, etc. And often they're threatened by the family that they just sick of it, don't want to hear any more. So they don't click like and they don't share, but they are still influenced by what you post, including the videos, etc., and what you write. So you're an influencer, so that's a pretty important thing, being an influencer. I've actually taken some notes because I didn't want to miss something. You and I, we know that patriots are just so lazy. They just seem to want to play on Facebook and not get into the real world. What I'm doing today is inviting you to a new forum which I've created called the FUTURIST FORUM. There's about 20 people on it. They're people that take action in the real world and that have some good ideas and probably common sense ideas, which is what we need. What I've found in the past is and there is a lot of problems and issues in the world, but everyone's trying to solve all those problems when really we just need to be solving the problems in our backyard, the things that we can solve. So nothing's really getting done. Nothing against political Islam, nothing against the Great Reset, nothing against anything, because everyone's just hitting and missing. The Futurist Forum is a forum that I decided after seeing the Great Reset and the Economic Forum that it's come out of, where you pay your $750,000 to be a member, and it's just a forum of the elite wanting to own and control us. The elite and the government. It's just about global domination of the people. And you and I are the people. So the Futurist Forum is going to make some decisions on how we're going to go forward. There will only be 5 or 6 things that we will look at. One of the first things we're going to do would be a survey. And the aim of the survey, we need about 10,000 people to complete the survey. It needs to be online so it can be easily compiled. Now I've talked to, sorry about the lawnmower, people always mowing around here. I've talked to politicians and they tell me they don't really care about surveys. However, they do care when it's about people voting for them, when it's of self-interest to them. And I've been told if we do it the proper way, the survey, for example, we say something like, would you vote for a politician who sells Australia, sells the farming land, sells the infrastructure? Now the politicians got two objectives. One is to look after themselves, and the second is to make sure they're still in government to look after themselves. So when this forum is, when we create our survey, is going to be directly targeted at voters voting for a person. For example, one of the things that I've been told by our strategists and by politicians is that halal is here to stay. The government likes it, the businesses like it, and the Muslims definitely like it. And we're just wasting our time focusing on getting rid of halal. It's here. It's going nowhere. So what we need to do is change the focus. There's a number of politicians interested as well in that it should be illegal to sell any product that is halal certified without it being labelled. So that's something we will push. Most people out there don't know what halal is. When I wear my t-shirt out, people haven't got a clue what halal is. We're living in a social media bubble, and outside there, like my neighbour next door, Larry's got no internet, and a few other people in this village of 38 homes don't have internet and not interested in getting internet. And the people on the social media, as you are aware, they think that is the real world. Like in Queensland, I had all these people telling me that they're going to Pauline Hanson's going to get in easy. Everyone hates Labor. Yeah, well, that was in their social media bubble within a social media bubble within a bubble. But in the real world, the forgotten people, the silent majority, they were voting for Labor because no one's getting to them, no one's talking to them, no one's showing them how things could be. The media, the normal media, not Sky News, but the other ones, all they seem to do is to promote the lefties. And Labor, that's what Labor's about. So I'm hoping you'll join the Futurist Forum. We're going to put it on cafenation.org, which has been a failure and a waste of money, but that will change, I think. COVID-19 vaccine, okay, it's not mandatory. However, if you work in a government office, or you're a contractor to the government, or you want to go into a government office, and that's including local council, state government, federal government, or you want to go into any health organisation or hospital, whether it's government owned or not, you'll have to have had a vaccine. If you want to fly interstate, if you want to travel by train interstate, if you want to travel by bus interstate, again, you'll have to have the vaccine. And naturally, flying in and out internationally, it will be the same. There's even plumbing companies now saying that their staff will have to have the vaccine or they won't be able to continue employment. And it's illegal for them to do that because it comes under a health order. So things are changing there and you can't do much about it. The question is, am I going to get vaccinated? No. I've got a shithouse memory and I don't like the aluminium in it for a start, which makes it worse. Australia Day's gone. Harry, Lee and Trevor, they had their convoys, not as successful but still successful, against all odds. Lee asked me to make get some t-shirts made, Australia Day t-shirts, not for Australia Day but to remind people about Australia Day. As usual, not very successful, but we did sell a few Australia Day t-shirts. We didn't sell them for people to wear them on that day because they normally have their own shirts, but to get out in the real world and let people know how we felt. That's one of the problems. The government's making decisions without consulting with us anymore. So Australia Day can just disappear. It's like the national anthem, they just changed it without talking to anyone. And in the States, it's reminded us, the Democrats have been saying to Biden, make climate an emergency, and then he doesn't have to worry about legislation. He can just make decisions straight on the spot. And this is something that governments will do, and our government will definitely do in the future. I reckon things will just become an emergency, and they will tell they won't have to go through Parliament, and they won't have to talk to the people. One of our big jobs is talking to people outside the world about the Labor Party and about Fabian society and Fabianism, and how their total aim is to head towards socialism. This is one thing that under the FUTURIST Forum we're going to have to work out a strategy, a plan. If we don't plan, we plan to fail, to get this out to the people. We need to decimate Labor. The other thing is about the COVID-19 vaccine. I have a laugh because there's this real bubble, social media bubble, where people tell me they're not having the vaccine, yet I get messages all the time telling me that they want to travel on cruises again, they want to see their family, grandkids, etc., and travel overseas, and that they're going to line up immediately for the vaccine. And others want to go to see their mum in hospitals and children in hospitals, etc., and nursing homes, so they're going to jump on the vaccine. This social media bubble that you and I are in, it's false. The forgotten people, silent majority, they're not against having the jab. Some will be, but majority aren't. It's just really different out there. The Communist Party, we've got to remember that it's not the people. We should be still going for our Chinese and takeaway if that's what we like. However, the food we choose, like honey that comes through New Zealand from China, and food that's coming from China, we should refuse. We should not eat it. We should not do anything with it. We should not buy it. However, the local takeaway, that's not a problem with the Chinese person there, but the food and that other stuff is difficult. Like I've got 2 ride-on lawnmowers here, electric mower and a Rover petrol mower. All the parts come from China, even though one's a Yardman from the States. All the parts made in China. Motorcycle parts, car parts, majority's made in China. Medication, over 80% of medication in the United States comes from China. They own a lot of the patents on the medication, and some comes from Brazil. There's a heap comes from India. However, 95% of that, the ingredients come from China. So you're not going to give up your medication for diabetes or heart or whatever. So if you've got a choice, you'd probably choose, but there's no choice in most of the things we want to buy in Australia. You can't buy a lawnmower that's Australian, you can't buy a toaster, etc. So you have to buy Chinese. But food, it's definitely not. One of the things you just brought up yesterday was about the 6th of February, the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. What are we doing this year? Fucking nothing. Exactly what you thought. People are just not really getting out into the real world. The bikers don't seem to see it as a real thing. They don't see how it demonises Islam and Muslims without us saying a word about it. What we're doing is it's going to be talked about and a strategy put in place for the next year and for all other years at the FUTURIST Forum. That's why I'm inviting you along. we want someone, we're going to change our focus from female genital mutilation and child abuse to, not child abuse, and child brides to child abuse. Jennifer and I went to Bunnings and we wore the shirt that said end female genital mutilation. I went back the next day. I always forget something, I don't know about you. Go back the next day, and what happens, a girl comes up to me from the shop there and asks me what female genital mutilation is. Is it about body piercings? And I explained to her what it is. And she didn't know childhood brides were happening in Australia. She didn't know about trafficking, child trafficking. Anyway, the reason she talked to me was they were having a conversation after Jen and I was there the day before, and no one knew what female genital mutilation is. So, but everyone knows what child abuse is, and we just need to work a strategy for that so we can focus on it. The social media bubble, we don't believe it. You know, we've got to take everything to the real world. Not everyone's on social media, and those in our group on social media are the ones that mostly agree with me, which makes it really hard because I'm a bit like Harry, like to listen to those who don't agree and give me more information. And then there's the conspiracy theorists that really are doing it, making it hard for us. Electorate support hubs and local action groups. I've talked to you before, local hubs are important, and in the backyard we should be fighting. In our backyard is the electorate. In the people who are on this forum, I'm asking that they have their own Facebook group for their community, and that they will be able to, no one else will be able to put stuff on it, but because you don't want to get banned, but you'll be able to put the things that matter to your community on it, and people will be able to make comment. And we've got to work out a better strategy to get to those in the real world in your electorate. Facebook, Instagram versus others. My strategists tell us that it's best if we stay either on our own software or Facebook and Instagram. Doesn't matter what other social media group you go to, if you incite hate or defame someone, then you're going to be hit and lose your money, your house, or whatever, car, motorcycles, the whole lot. Where at least Facebook blocks you and kind of gives you a reminder, but going to these other ones. Plus there's other reasons. I was talking to one of the groups a few years ago, lost 36,000 people. I lost 18,600 on lilies the other day. It's gone because someone wrote something hateful in a comment, not in the post, but a comment. So with the social media, I was asked, because they lost the 36,000, to go to one of the other social medias with them. When I had a look, it was owned by the Russians. You're giving the Russians your information, not that they don't have it. Another one was owned by a media company that's core business, was selling people's wants and needs to marketing companies. They're a marketing organisation looking after business. The other one was Chinese based. So I think we stay with the Facebook and encourage people to go over to the other. And I think the Futurists, once those 20 people, hoping 20 with yourself, will then decide, well, yeah, I've got people that we should bring over and we need to talk. We need for our people to be in Parliament. Example, LEE, who you probably would know, and Elizabeth Powell, they ran for for the Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party before. We need to highlight, especially in our areas, ministers' deficiencies to the electorate and policy deficiencies and policy deficiencies to the electorate. The Great Reset, I'll put a few things on that you can listen to, the experts know. You can get the book on Amazon if you've got it's less than $7, and you can put it on your tablet and read an electronic copy if you don't want to buy the book, but it's well worth it. It kind of scared me when I first heard about it, because it says that the government wants us to be happy. Well, I've never found the government wants us to be happy. They want to be happy. Politicians want to be happy. So I couldn't see how you won't own anything and be happy. I'm encouraging people to be self-reliant and self-sufficient as much as they can. It's important because people are losing jobs and we just don't know what's going to happen. Power is going to be a problem in the future as they close down more of the power stations and things like that. I've got solar power here, but I don't have batteries because they're too expensive, but the solar power saves me heaps of money. But when I was on the railway, we were watching one night on YouTube a video where it said that you should always have $600 cash in your safe at home for when things do go to shit. Like if there's no electricity for a few days or something like that, at least you've got money to transact. Not that the doors of the shops or cash registers will work. The other thing it said, you have lawnmowers, majority of people, and you have petrol for the lawnmower. You should have a drum of petrol up the back, not in your house or near your house, for your motor vehicle. Let's say you're going to fill up tomorrow and then suddenly there's a power blackout or someone blows something up or whatever for a few days where you can't do anything. So I created that prepper site to show people how easy, it's not about bunkers or anything, how easy it is to grow your own veggies and just do the small things, container gardening if you've only got a veranda. We here, Jennifer and I, we just eat our veggies, and we only eat meat if we go in town, which is 15 kilometres away. 15 minutes takes us to get to town, and then we might have Chinese or Indian. I was reading Elena's post one day, and up came a meme and it said global non-compliance, and I went, I like that. I think I'll be global non-compliant. I think we all should look at how much we can be global non-compliant, and some of the things that said we should barter for goods. Like I get my honey and eggs from next door. My neighbour gives me food, I give them food, etc. We should shop at locally owned stores, getting harder in the city. Avoid large corporate stores, grow as much food as possible, buy used items, recycle, upcycle. Avoid fast food stores, get to know your neighbours, and you can't probably do all those, but you can do a lot of things, and there's some satisfaction in giving the finger to the man. So I hope that you will be able to come on board with us, be part of the Futurist Forum, and what it will end up doing, giving us 5 or 6 things that we will focus on. 3 that one will be the survey. The second thing will be the halal labelling and the Australia Day. 3rd. 4th thing will be the child abuse, FGM, etc. Well, thanks again. I just want to make the offer that if you're up this way, you're going for a ride, there's a bed here for you and your wife or yourself to stay for a couple of days. It'll be nice to see you. So look after yourself this year. You take care. You've had a lot of problems. I'm hoping your health will be better. I can't see the political environment be better, but I hope financially, especially if you grow some veggies, etc., does save a lot of money. Thanks again, mate.